2025. It's been a weird year. It's, I guess, complicated in a way because I feel like I was productive in certain ways and then unproductive in others. But then I was thinking, what makes a year a productive year per se? When I think about 2024, I feel like I was in a very creative flow. I was shooting a lot of videos and like making clothing. And I don't know, I just felt like I was in a flow and I was like really, um, really taking initiative on like my creative identity and just doing, not overthinking or like planning too much, but rather just like doing things and trying things. And I feel like I took a step back from that in 2025. Um, I don't know. For most of the year, I was thinking, damn, I didn't really have a productive year. I was having a conversation with my friend the other day. We were just talking about the past year, and he was talking about how 2025 was probably like the most productive year of his life in regards to like, just business and other aspects like that. And my immediate thought in my head was, I feel the complete opposite. And then I just remember later that night I got home and I was really thinking about that. Why did I feel the complete opposite? Why did I feel like 2025 was unproductive for me? Then I thought about maybe it wasn't. Maybe I was just I was valuing productiveness in a different way, or I was perceiving it differently. I I ran 2 marathons this past year, and that's completely different than what I would was doing in 2024 when I was kind of just heads down on creativity and shooting content. And I didn't do really much of that in 2025. And I was thinking that it was essentially like a huge step back or somewhat of like a failure. But I didn't even think about the fact that I practiced a lot of discipline, I experienced a lot of hardship with training for a marathon. And in a way, I still prove to myself that I can do tough things, things that are hard. And I guess I lost sight of that as and didn't really see that as valuable because I was like programming my mind to look at it through like a creative metric of like, oh, what did I do this past year? Did I sell any clothes? Did I make any merch? No, I didn't, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a wash. But yeah, I don't know. I think 2026, I'd say these last 2 months of like 2025, I've kind of got the ball rolling again. I think I was trying to like figure out what I wanted to do this past year because I wasn't too sure about if I wanted to still focus on clothing. I still have some interest there, but I realized a lot of the fun I was having and what I actually enjoyed doing was just shooting videos and like creating stories out of my little drops and like shirts and hoodies here and there. And maybe that was just a way of giving me direction to shoot things. But I kind of want to expand more and just do more, shoot more videos and just things that speak to me and doesn't have to necessarily be related to clothing. And I started doing that this past like 2 months. I started just like said enough planning. I I didn't want to like focus like try so hard to figure out what my avenue was. I'm like, let me just start shooting things. Let me just start making videos and just creating art. I started practicing drawing again. And I was like, I'll figure it out along the way. I don't have to have it figured out before I start, you know? Sometimes you just have to do things. I wouldn't even say sometimes. I would say all the times you just need to start. Sometimes you don't need to have uh, a full like sense of direction. You you just start and then you'll find your way onto the right path. Oh, it's getting a little cold out here. I got this smokeless fire pit for my dad for Christmas, and it's coming in pretty clutch right now. There's like no smoke blowing in my face, which I love. But, anyways, what was I talking about? So yeah, you need to just start. And I feel like I kind of got back into the groove of that these past 2 months. So I'm excited for 2026. And I don't know, I feel like every year I kind of set goals. I don't yet necessarily do it on New Year's because I believe if you want to start something, just start it. You don't have to wait for January 1st or like for that Monday to roll around of a new week to start. Um, but I still do like to reflect on each of my years, each previous year, I guess. Sorry, I was putting more wood. I would say though that in itself, training for the marathon did teach me a lot about just commitment and discipline. And it's nice to have something you're working towards because it's hard to train for a marathon if you're not signed up for it. But when you're signed up for something, you kind of give yourself that obligation. And I'm trying to carry that on to some of my creative endeavors. Like, for example, if I'm shooting a video, or this can apply to anyone really that's like making music or anything, honestly, any type of art. And sometimes you feel like you don't want to rush the creative process because you want everything to come out so perfectly. But if you kind of give yourself, if you treat it like a job or like an obligation and give yourself some type of deadline, your brain starts working in a different way. And you'd be surprised of like the ideas you come up with and the flow state you get into. Like, for example, if I'm making a video, I don't want to like spend 2 months like perfecting it when I can just tell myself, now this week I'm gonna have a video done. You kind of give yourself that timeline and your brain starts working differently. And it's like that's kind of how it was with the marathon where I'm like, okay, I have this marathon on this date. No matter what, I have to run it on this date. So I need to start training and prepare myself for it. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for 2026. I thought it's funny, like I was getting kind of envious of people, like I guess like musicians especially. Like I have friends that are just so into music and they play instruments, they're in bands. And I would get envious because I'm like, damn, you've always been so set on like what your passion is. Like, oh, just playing music and making music. And I always thought I wanted to do something creatively, but I guess it was hard for me to find what that is. And I'm still not 100% sure. I mean, it was clothing for a while. It still is to a certain degree. I just don't know if it's like the one thing I'm truly like have a dying passion for. Um, and I was like, yeah, I was envious of that because I just felt so lost this past year. And a lot of people, I feel like they have their mind set on what they want. Like for example, I just watched Marty Supreme on Christmas, and how his character was just so set on the fact that I'm gonna be a professional ping pong player. I'm gonna be like a world famous ping pong player, and he was just so set on that desire and that dream. And I have like I envision the life I want to build and what I want in life, but I don't know like exactly what I want to be doing. And I'm gonna just use this year to really just try and do things, and I'll figure it out along the way. And it's funny because I was thinking about like, okay, what do I want in my life? Like, what kind of life do I want to build for myself in the future? And I noticed a lot of those things are things that I currently already do. Obviously, it'd be nice to have like financial freedom, and then like just so you can have all of your time and schedule your days how you want, rather than relying on like a 9 to 5 to pay for your day to day. And I noticed that most of the things when I lay down and like vision what I'd be doing in the future if I didn't have to worry about work or any like financial obligations, a lot of it is stuff I already do. I guess just in a more glorified manner or just in a more carefree manner. But that made me think also about like having a balance between being grateful for what you already have and also wanting more for yourself. And it's like, is it bad to want more for yourself when you should just be grateful for what you have in life? And I mean, I don't think so, but I feel like that's just a constant battle that I kind of deal with where I kind of get caught up in like having these high standards for myself and wanting to like wanting more for myself and wanting to build a life that I am truly like I guess content with, but also realizing that I'm taking a minute and just slowing down and realizing I'm content with what I have right now. I mean, I have nothing to complain about when you really think about it. When I don't know, like you think about the one thing that's like kind of bothering you, like maybe like a certain week, like your car broke down, or I don't know, maybe just like you're you're getting fed up with work or whatnot. You realize that's just like it's not that deep in the grand scheme of things when there's people that are like really struggling to even just get like food on their table or like a roof over their head. So that kind of grounds me and like makes me a more appreciative of what I have. But that also doesn't mean I have to settle for that. And I'm allowed to like have dreams and want more for myself. So yeah. I don't know exactly. I know what I do want, I guess, what kind of future life I want. So I think I'm gonna start being more intentional with how I want to get there and just constantly ask myself if this is this something my future self would be doing right now. If I'm wasting time, just ask myself that question. Or maybe slow down even while I'm like recording content or making videos and just ask myself, is this what my future self would be doing right now to get to that life? But you can't really like push off that happiness where it's you're in that mindset where like, oh, I'll be happy when I build out the life I want, then I'll be happy. Or I'll be content then. Because then you realize you can experience a lot of that now in your current day. And that's what I realized when I was thinking about, oh, most of the things I want to do in life, I'm already doing it. So why am I not just I need to just get caught up in those moments when they're happening and realize that rather than like constantly chasing something and not knowing what you're chasing, just like kind of blindly following some dream that you're not sure of. Yeah. Um, what else? 2025. Oh, on top after the marathons, I would say, or I guess like during training, I was still I was still like weight training and going to the gym, and I suffered like two shoulder injuries, each of my shoulders, and that really slowed me down for a bit because I don't know you chase so many things in life, and then once you're not healthy, you realize you would trade all that just to have your health back. I mean, I was going to like physical therapy, the orthopedist, just trying to figure out what was wrong with my shoulders. I feel like I just wasn't getting an answer. I was going to therapy, physical therapy for like 2 months, and I was still experiencing so much shoulder pain. And I feel like I just wasn't targeting the right area. And it just kind of humbles you, especially when you spend so much time in the gym and you love to see progress, and then you realize that damn, all that was kind of thrown away in a sense in a matter of like 2 months. Like I feel so weak compared to where I was. I feel like I've just gotten like more lazy and lethargic and like gaining some weight and just I don't know, just having having less discipline towards things, especially like when it comes to eating food. I'm just like, well, I can't really like do the workouts I want to do. Everything hurts essentially because like, you almost use your shoulder for like damn near everything. Even like I was trying to squat and like holding the bar was causing so much pain. But yeah, I don't know. Western medicine is just I've realized like a lot of that is just kind of bullshit. I honestly felt pretty hopeless at one point where I'm like my shoulders are never going to be fixed. I'm going to deal with this pain for the rest of my life. And it sucked cuz I mean I love going to the gym and then you just kind of realize you don't have to think that way. There's a solution to damn near everything, so and it's funny that I say that because I think I did find the solution and I find out it's like more of a mechanical issue rather than like structurally. So, I don't know, I was told that, like, my tendons are inflamed, but I don't think that's the case, honestly. I think it's more so just how I've been operating when I do work out and how I'm recovering. So I think slowing down and realizing that kind of helps because now I know to, I don't know, not live in a rush and to really like take care of myself. And I don't know, I'm excited. It's funny because I would go from like feeling hopeless about my like health on my shoulders to like now being excited for getting them healthy again, and then kind of starting from scratch in the gym again, being able to do like benching and shoulder workouts. And I'm excited for that, to get back in there and to really, I don't know, just start fresh. And I mean, I still work out, but I just feel like I've been so limited that most of the stuff I'm doing is just like my physical therapy exercises and like mainly just cardio, just running. And it's been getting so cold, and I feel like I've fallen out of marathon shape ever since the race. That, I mean, my runs aren't like too intense, but I'm kind of just back to where I was before I started training for my first marathon, where I'm just like stagnant. It's not hard, it's not easy. I'm kind of just cruising. But I'm excited to start pushing myself again and to get back on track. Goals for 2026? I'm not even sure, honestly. I think it's to just get out of my own head and to just do things and to really just try new things, record things, level up artistically. Um, I was thinking about moving to San Diego, and I still really want to, so maybe putting some type of plan to get that in action. I spent a couple months out there, I guess a little over a year ago, and I was kind of testing the waters, and I loved it. And ever since then, I've just felt like that place feels like home, man. That place is amazing. So trying to figure out how I can get back out there. Try it out for longer than just 2 months this time. Perhaps live there, and yeah, but also not like having set expectations of that and like worrying about that specifically, and just also enjoying my time here. I moved back into my parents' house, I guess, about 2 months ago, and I don't want to be stuck in a mindset where I'm trying to rush myself and get out of here to get to San Diego. I want to enjoy this time with my parents while I'm spending a lot of time with them, and just yeah. So we'll see. We'll see where this all goes. But I guess it's just me blabbing at the mic and camera, reflecting on my 2025, and also like having a little bit of an outlook for this upcoming year or this next year. So yeah. Anything else I want to talk about? I don't even know. I don't think I'm really gonna edit this video much. I'm just gonna, it's just literally me talking, so keep this going for a little longer. My sister gifted me this book. It's called The Artist's Way, and it's kind of like a spiritual um guide to becoming or finding more creativity within yourself. And they have some cool practices in there that I've actually like I've read in other books about just like spiritual spirituality and like improving and just trying to find like that routine that kind of frees you from that like censor in your mind, or that voice that's like telling you not to do certain things, that wants to just constantly feel safe. And I'm excited to start doing that with her. Um, One of the things they talk about is morning pages, and it's how that's like a form of meditation in itself. And it's funny, when I'd wake up, I would go through phases where like I wake up and I meditate um before like going to the gym or working out or walking my dog. But sometimes it kind of like starts to feel like a chore, and it shouldn't. And this form of meditation is just like waking up and just writing 3 pages every single morning of just like stream of consciousness. It doesn't matter what you're writing, just whatever is on your mind. Even if you're just writing like, I have nothing to write, until you get somewhere with it. Um, and that's interesting because I've never really done that before. I usually just try to sit there and just breathe and like kind of pull my thoughts back to just I guess stillness. So I'm gonna maybe make some more I'm gonna make some videos maybe about that once I kind of practice it a little more and yeah, I'm excited. So we'll see. But I hope everyone had a happy new year. I hope everyone had a great 2025. Um Even if it was complicated for you, I'm sure you've learned something in the year. Um and yeah, I hope everyone's got a strong start to the 2026. And yeah, I guess I'll talk to y'all later.